Welcome to Will's Personal Development Show. In this episode, we're going to be talking about envy, jealousy, and not letting them pull you down on your pursuit of a happy, successful life. So, ultimately, why do we do the things we do? Why do we study hard, get good grades, try and earn more money, try and perform well at our job, try and do well? Well, oftentimes it's because we want to be happy, we want to be fulfilled, we want to live a happy, healthy life. And we believe that these things will bring that to us. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. And so that's why I wanted to touch on maybe one of the core things that we do. Now, how does this relate to jealousy and envy? Well, first off, if you're human, most people will experience it sometime in their life. And with the whole pursuit towards happiness, this is one of those things that often will get in your way. Sometimes you have achieved so much and yet you don't see it because there's always someone doing better. Or maybe you haven't achieved much at all, or at least you feel like your life just kind of sucks on so many levels. And you keep seeing people you know in real life or on social media who are so much better than you. And social media just makes it so much worse because now with the internet, you aren't just shown people in your local community, but people around the world who are killing it or seemingly killing it. And that's what I want to talk about. So, a few years ago, I thought I had to figure it out. I thought the answer to defeating jealousy and envy was just, what a lot of these successful influencers would say, which is get off Instagram, get off social media. And if you do stay on there and you see it, just tell yourself, that's just the highlight of their day. They're just posting a snapshot of their life. Their life could be actually pretty horrible behind the scenes. And that was a manufactured moment. You never know. Some of these people could be depressed. And that does happen. You see these stories about influencers quitting social media because they were actually depressed behind the scenes. So I thought this would fix the issue. But since then, there's been, tons of moments where I still feel that little bit of envy or jealousy. Maybe it's someone I see in person who just seems to be doing so well in life. They've got everything taken care of. They've got that super attractive boyfriend or girlfriend, or they just have their life locked. They're always happy. Everything's just working out so smoothly. They have a great job, great partner, great life, great pet, always so happy. And then here I am, not rich, single, or whatever else. And so you ask yourself, how do you actually deal with this? And unfortunately, it's one of those questions that obviously still causes debate because it's one of those timeless questions that never has a complete answer. And even religious leaders argue or debate about it to find the best solution. I was reading The Book of Joy, which features the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu, two incredible leaders in their space who are symbols of peace and prosperity. I think at least one of them's won a Nobel Peace Prize, and they're best of friends even though they're of different religions. So the book is by them, and they kind of cover different topics. It's ghostwritten, but nonetheless, you learn so much, and even they were debating how to handle envy. I want to share with you some tips from the book and just wanted to cross-reference my experience studying thousands of successful people to basically come to maybe an answer. So basically, Desmond had his way and the Dalai Lama had theirs. They had some similarities and then disagreements. The basic agreement was that, it's something that, you can do some things to fix. And gratitude and appreciation for what you do have is one of the big ones. The disagreement was that how much could be done. Archbishop Desmond Tutu, he believed that, this is just kind of out of your control. Like, this is something that, to an extent, you just can't control. It's gonna happen, and that's it. It sucks, but you have to deal with it. Whereas the Dalai Lama, he really believed that with certain practices, you can, get rid of it. And gratitude was a big one, which is also something that is cited a lot in scientific studies for being more happy. So there may be some correlation there. Rather than thinking about what you don't have, think about what you do. They said, maybe you don't live in a mansion like that guy, but at least you don't live in a hut. At least you don't live on the street. How can you feel grateful for that shelter, that food? And I would have to voice that this is a great method, gratitude, but it doesn't solve everything. And I would say one of the other tips I've learned from successful people and scientific studies is that the main two drivers of unhappiness from science is comparison and then dwelling on things, negativity. So the comparison thing is highly correlated with envy and jealousy. To be jealous, you have to compare with someone else. And so to not make this video like an hour explaining this, the long and short of it is that I believe from the research, a lot of jealousy and envy comes from the environment that you're placed into with which you compare. And you have a certain degree of control on constructing that environment. And I'm not just talking social media. That's part of it, of course. If you need to, delete, unfollow, block those people. But that's not all of it, It's also where you live. If you live in a place where everyone's twice as rich as you, you're going to feel pretty crappy all the time. Even if they're like slightly richer than you all the time, that's still going to maybe grate on you. And it doesn't matter if you're a millionaire already, that's still going to grate on you. So it's about the relativity, not the absolute. If I was a millionaire, I would live in a neighborhood where most people are not millionaires, and I would not showboat my millions because I don't want them to feel too bad either, and I don't want to be seen as a dick. But that's something that I think that's a great side benefit, and I don't know if it's the main reason, but Warren Buffett, he lives in this $50,000 house in this modest neighborhood. Now, inflation adjusted, the house is probably $250,000, but still, that's still relatively small compared to the billions that he has. So think about that. Every day when you wake up, everyone around you is doing worse off than you, or maybe equal. You're not feeling crappy because of that. So that's part of it, and still, that's not a complete answer because, even then, I run into situations where, someone, a peer of mine or someone I work with, even though they're not rich or anything crazy, sometimes you just feel a little jealous or more than a little. And you're like, man, this person's always happy, always smiling, always laughing, and maybe they're not rich or anything like that, but man, they have a life partner that they just love. They're loving their job. They're loving what they do. I mean, everything's just perfect. And why can't we have that? Like, why can't we enjoy it more? And it's so hard to find something that you enjoy and find someone that you like and they like. And man, it just sucks. And I'm getting old and it just gets in your head. So to a degree, maybe Desmond Tutu's right in saying that at least some of it you can never really control, and you will be envious at some point and you have to deal with it. But I still think that your environment you can influence more than you think. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. I try to keep this under 10 minutes and I did.